Just making sure that everything is okay before I start. Yes, and I think I'm live. Okay, so hey everyone, how are you doing this beautiful night of 26th when I'm actually doing this live? How was your week? As always, I'd love to hear from you if you're watching this, regardless of whatever time you actually tune into this, even if it's a year from now, I don't care. As long as you see this, I'd love to know just how is your week? How is your day going? Share your insights, share how you've grown in the past couple of days, in the past couple of weeks, in the past couple of months, and let us celebrate you for that. I think we don't do much of celebration of the good that we actually do for me especially. Like my journey has been for me to learn how to be my own cheerleader because you're always gonna have someone celebrating you. So if you don't have anyone celebrating all the amazing things that you're doing for you, you celebrate yourself. You make a deal out of it. It doesn't matter if it's something as small as maybe you manage to wake up at 5 a.m. I don't care how small your win is. Celebrate that achievement. That's huge. Celebrate yourself, okay? So, um, wow, this week is gonna be interesting. I've had an interesting week. Not so many realizations that come to mind, other than the whole thing of managing your stress response, because I think this is where something that a lot of people struggle with. It's the idea of not being able to deal with your emotions, whether good or bad, because you can actually get affected with that, with both, right? Usually, when people are going through the stress and the disappointment and all those negative emotions, as we call it, their immediate response is always to be, I want to run away from this. I don't want to deal with this. So how can I do that easily? It's reach for something that will help me numb that, right? And sometimes also when it's a really good emotion that you're feeling, sometimes it gets too much. And I know that for a fact because sometimes when I discover something new, I get so excited that I'm not even able to do anything constructive. So I think for me, this week has all been about really allowing myself to process both emotions, whether good or bad, and just allow myself to sit with it for just a couple of minutes. And it's been, boom, mind blowing. So the minute you hack that, it actually even correlates with your sense of discipline and focus and consistency. Because trust me, your mind will always find ways to distract you or get you to self-sabotage from the things that you know very well that you're supposed to be doing. It has a million ways it can do that. And if you're not aware, if you don't bring awareness to what that is, it's very easy to get lost on what you're actually trying to achieve in the world. So my advice to you, if this is your struggle, learn how to just sit with your emotions. Before you reach for something to numb your pain or reach for something to just distract you from feeling whatever emotion it is, sit with it for a couple of minutes. One of my amazing teachers, Nir Eyal, I think I mentioned him before on my channel, I'm not sure, but he's the author of Indestructibility. I hope I say that right, I don't know. But anyway, you can just go search his book on the internet. He says that allowing yourself to just sit with your emotions for 10 minutes before you reach for that thing that you know very well you're not supposed to be reaching out for. It could be chocolate cake, biscuit, whatever it is, just sit with your emotions, just 10 minutes. And when you're doing this, just breathe through it, taking deep breaths. And when I'm talking about deep breaths, it's taking deep breaths through your belly. Okay, allowing your belly to be fully expanded when you actually inhale. Because what we, especially adults, we lose sight of our natural way of breathing. We do shallow breaths, which is just letting our breath only get to our chest. But essentially, how you're supposed to be breathing normally, which is what we call the baby breath, is through letting your belly be fully expanded when you inhale, which is something I actually teach my clients if they go to a quantum flow session with me, okay? And I'm going to be sharing more about my work at the end of this live. So if you're curious about this, make sure you stick until the end of this live to get an idea of how I can actually help you master that aspect of yourself, okay? So I digress as always. This week, what am I talking about? This week, I want to talk about values, okay? And the reason why I'm talking about this is because it's so weird because I didn't even have so many um stories to tell about this, but I've actually come across like I think two today, if I'm not wrong, that have inspired this life. But let me just start before I go too far, okay? So I saw this video of two ladies in a race, and they were literally at the last leg of the race, right? So it was the person who was ahead, and I think the second lead. I don't think they were too far off, but then the one who was at the lead started, like her leg started failing her, like she could not move. She was really struggling to finish that race, and literally the finish line was just ahead of her, and she couldn't. Like it was such a struggle. You could see her struggling. And what happened that really amazed me and what has actually inspired this life is the fact that the person who was immediately like the second lead, of course, that would have been the best opportunity for her to bypass her competitor and go ahead to win the race. But this person instead chose to actually lean back or stay back and help the competitor who was already in first lead to actually get to the finish line. And that means that patiently held the competitor's arms or whatever, and you could literally see that lady's legs trying to fail her, but every time it was, the lady will just provide a support system and they'll just keep on going. And that was just so mind blowing to me because you don't see an example of that in our current society. I mean, come on, we're taught to just be mindful of our own self gratification, right? I mean, if you're in a race, of course, um your immediate sense of when I say survivalism, that's not the right term, but you have that competitive nature of I gotta win, right? So for you to actually let go of that or turn your back on that and choose compassion and choose to be humane to a fellow competitor rather than take over that chance and win the race, that's huge. And I think those are the things we need to be celebrating. Because you see, the thing I was looking at is that it's not like if this competitor left this lady, you know, and went on ahead to win the race, that anything bad will have happened to the lady. Okay, of course, she'll have collapsed and all of that, right? But I'm sure there are medical professionals standing by in case of that kind of thing happening during the match or whatever the race. There were so many bystanders cheering on the racers and whatever at the sideline. So if worst came to us, there of course would have been someone to step in to help out in the situation. But this lady chose to forego that and choose the to be compassionate towards her fellow competitor and help her to cross the line. We never see that, which is what is inspiring today's life of what do you actually value most in life? Because for me, it looks like this person valued her own sense of self-judgment because at the end of the day, when I'm looking in the mirror with my medal, right, I should be able to be so proud of how I went about winning. If it was a fair race and everyone was, at operating at their best and there was nothing like this happening, then of course I'd be celebrating myself for having gotten that gold medal. But if this lady would have won, she will have known that she forego an opportunity to actually help out someone for the sake of that gold medal. So some people that will not bother them because that's not their problem. Of course, it was a race. I was here to win. So it doesn't matter how it went. For most people, they'll look at that as a stroke of genius or a stroke of luck. Like, the gods of races or something is smiling down on you and allowing you to win the race, right? Like this person chose compassion over that. So for her, the compassionate part of her, that ability to look at herself and know that at the end of the day, I did something right, that mattered more to her than any kind of title, any kind of medal, any kind of anything that would have come with this particular win. And I love that so much. And again, this is in no way like judging anyone who will have made that different choice because again, there are so many people who could have actually stepped in to help this person. But it was up to this competitor to do that for a fellow competitor, which I find amazing. The second reel I saw today about this is, um, and the first thing by the way that came to mind when I saw this reel was like, who was recording this? Because here's what happened. Okay. So it's like a flooded street, I think because of the rains or something. Not in my country, in I don't know where it was anyway. It's a flooded street, and then there's a person trying to cross the street, the flooded street, remember, with a wheelchair. And just when he's about to hit the curb, he falls down and falls back in the water. Okay, remember he's on a wheelchair, no one is there to assist him. Then, by a stroke of luck, there's a motorbike actually crossing behind this person, and this person sees this person in it and immediately gets off the motorbike and runs to help. But the person who's actually helping is someone who's missing missing one leg. So literally, he is already inconvenienced, right? But he chose to forego his own safety for the sake of helping this other person who was in a wheelchair and had fallen down and was really struggling to get up. Again, you don't see those kind of things. Most people, I will say, is that we've been conditioned to just think of ourselves. Seriously, I mean, look at what we see on media and all of that. Like, rarely do we celebrate that, even though they actually exist. Okay, for some of these acts, it has to be something you have to be intentional of identifying for you to find them in the internet. There are a ton of those examples, a ton of them. Okay, and I'm not talking about the ones who normally do it just for show, just to um, get the views or get the likes or whatever. No, I'm talking about people who genuinely do compassionate acts. So remember, this person is foregoing their own safety for the sake of helping that other person. To them, it's not their safety that's number one. It's their, if I'm in a position to help, I'm going to help you, regardless of whatever inconvenience it is to me. And that's how I want you to look at it. What do you actually value in life? Because here's the thing, what you value most, first of all, it's gonna your values are what determine how you show up in the world. That's why. It determines the kind of people you have around you. It determines what you do with your life, your career, your families, all of that. What you value most actually influences all of this, right? So, like for example, if your utmost, your biggest value in life is money, right? You value money. For most people, you'll find that to get that money, they're willing to sacrifice whatever it is to get that money. So even if it means losing their dignity, even if it means betraying their loved ones, even if it means sacrificing their health, they're going to do it because what they value most is money, and they're going to do anything to get to that end goal of having the money that maybe will give them the kind of freedom that they desire. I mean, if you had the phrase of, I'd rather be crying at the back of a Mercedes Benz than laughing on a bicycle. I think that's a saying that I've had a couple of times growing up. And I love that because it really shows you the person who's actually saying this is saying that I don't care where I am. I'd rather be miserable but actually rich than be happy and actually suffering. Okay. Again, two different states of existence. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other. What I want you to look at is whatever choices you make, whatever you value most in life, let it be that this thing is actually going to add value to your life. That's actually going to bring you the happiness and the inner peace and the true bliss that you're looking for. Because you find that, for example, someone who values money more than anything and has sacrificed, made all these sacrifices in order to get there. You've heard of so many cases of people who get there and then they sit down and say, like, okay, now I have money, but where's that happiness? Where's that whatever it was that I was looking for? Right? Maybe they get there and they're not even able to enjoy the money because all of a sudden they're sick. They're lying in a hospital bed. So what was the point of sacrificing all of that to get the billion? But some people they get there and they forgone the relationships, right? They stop spending time with their loved ones, they stop giving that like they sacrifice their relationship for the sake of chasing that paper. That was what they valued most. And then they get there and they have no one to celebrate it with, you know? So you really gotta weigh down that whatever it is that you're putting your focus on. And again, I'm not saying this in any way to demonize money. Money is good, like money is worth gets the world to operate as it does. I'm not saying it's the be it and end it all, because there are different ways that you can actually get to that particular state you want to achieve. Money is not the only way, because money can come in different forms, right? Abundance can come in different forms. We're just focusing on just one aspect and forgoing the other. There are always consequences to that. So make sure that whatever choices, whatever things that you value most are, first of all, things that are going to add value to your life, right? Add, not subtract, because there's no point of chasing the money and then letting go of all these other things, because you're going to get there and you're going to have regrets for that. There will always be consequences for that. So really examine what it is that you're putting your effort or your time in. For some people, they say that they value um, having relationships, right? Having close relationships with the boys, with the girls, and all of that. That is what they love. So they're gonna, any kind of free time they have, they're gonna be there. But also being mindful that these people you're spending time with are people who actually add to your existence. Because for some people, yes, you're gonna spend all your energy with these people, probably at the expense of your own family, because you've had of such cases, right? People who, like, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, anytime they're free, it's spent with their friends, for going, spending time with their family, right? You do that over and over again, thinking that your friends are it. Like, as long as I have friends, I'm never gonna get bored. And then for some people, you find that the worst kind of betrayal comes from these friends that you've been spending your most of your time with. And the people that you actually forgot about are the ones who actually end up having you back. So again, really examining, where am I putting most of my time? Where am I spending most of my energy? Where am I spending most of my money? Do I have assurance that this thing is actually adding and not subtracting to my life? Sometimes you don't know, but you really have to sit down and ask yourself that, when I get to the end of my life and I look back at everything I've done, am I going to be proud of everything, of all the choices I made? Because if there is a doubt as to, am I really spending my existence in the right way, that I'm so focused on, and I just noticed that my mic was down, so I don't know if people are hearing me. This is crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh no, 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 no. I'm gonna end this live because I've noticed the mic was actually off. At least I'm hoping that people could hear me. If not, I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna start again. Whew. But anyways, I'll just continue and just have faith that y'all could hear me. Crossing my fingers, okay? So anyway, really ensuring that at the end of it all, when you get to your deathbed, when you look back at how you've actually spent your life, you're actually gonna be proud of everything that you've done with it. Okay? Don't get to the end and then realize that I spend most of my time with these people who, it's now on my deathbed, they're not even here with me. They're the ones I valued most, and I thought they valued me back, but that was not really the case. Okay? Or get to the deathbed and realize that I spent my entire life chasing something that really had no meaning, had no value. I have nothing to show for it. Okay? I'll give another example of how you can even examine your values. I think I saw a reel a while back about a businessman who was talking about how he had to let go of his business, and he had to let go of his business partner for one small thing. Not because this person was not making him money, not because there was anything or any kind of conflict. It was just because of one reason. And the reason was the business partner was actually stepping out on the wife, cheating on his wife. And this man sat there and asked himself, if this person is capable of cheating or stepping out or even lying to the person that he is supposed to love more than anything in the world, that he actually sat down and made vows to at some point in time, then does it not mean that later on, if shit hits the fan with us, he's gonna do the same thing to my business and his? And it's because of that, because this person lacked integrity, that this person had to walk away from this partnership. It's not like the business was not lucrative, it was. But he chose integrity over everything else, because it doesn't matter if, yes, I can sit here and decide to, you know what, I'm just going to turn a blind eye to whatever you're doing, right? Which is what most people do, right? When you don't hold the people around you accountable to their mistakes. And then You will get shocked when this person does the same thing to you, but really, wouldn't you have known that this was a possibility if this person is capable of doing that? So when this businessman is choosing to let go of the lucrative opportunity for the sake of maintaining his integrity, and for the sake of this person, whatever he's doing goes against my values, I cannot be around them. It's usually a very difficult position when it comes to your values, okay? But sometimes it might force you to walk away from certain situations, walk away from certain people that might be highly inconveniencing, okay? It could force you to walk away from a lot of money because your dignity matters more than anything in that. It could force you to walk away from people you've held long and dear to yourself because whatever they're doing with their life right now, you just don't align. You're probably a different person. I know for sure, like my entire, especially when I started my self-development, my personal development, I've had to walk away from so many friendships because it got to a point where things were just not in alignment. That's the best way I can put it. And it got to a point where, like, okay, so you guys still align with the old version of me that does not exist. It doesn't exist anymore. It's not who I'm trying to be anymore. So for that, I'm gonna have to walk away because where I'm going, I don't think I can continue carrying that old vibration self of me, right? My old vibration to the new version of myself I'm trying to create. That's how difficult it is when it means knowing what your values are and actually sticking to them, not being wishy-washy with it, right? Like you're offered 100 million, then you forget that where your dignity is at, right? I remember like growing up, there used to be such kind of funny riddles where people would ask like, what would you do if someone was to offer you 100 million? And then you'd make the weirdest request, like, I think I saw on the internet recently, someone was asked that question and then was asked, if you had 20 million and you had your spouse in the house, who would you save? Right? Like maybe there's a fire or something. Well, what's the first thing that you would save? And it's funny because I think the person I saw actually said that he will save the 20 million for sure, which to him then it means that he values the money more than he values the partnership with his wife, which again, no judgment here. But please keep in mind that whatever choices you make, you have to live with. You have to look at yourself in the mirror the following day and love yourself, whatever choices you've made. Not judge yourself, not have shame, not have guilt. No, no, no. You have to be okay with the person that you see in the mirror. So, whatever choice you're making, please make sure that it aligns with the person that you want to be looking at the end of every day. When you go to sleep, those last thoughts in your mind, don't have any regrets of, oh no, I wish I had not picked the money more before my spouse. Because that's someone will look at that crazy. Like that will mean that you don't value human life. Even if you and your wife are not in good terms, but at the end of it all, that's a human life. No amount of money can ever equate to a human life. Like a human life is literally, you cannot put any kind of value to that, right? We're priceless, if that's the right term. And even beyond priceless, that's what I'd say. So it really depends with who you are as a person. Am I gonna choose this over this? And if you're doing that, why are you doing that? Why are you valuing this more than this other thing? Really start bringing awareness to yourself, whatever kind of decisions you make going forward. Because trust me, at the end of it all, you're going to do a review of yourself. You're going to do a review of all the life choices you made. And please, my wish for you is that when you're getting there, I don't want you to have any kind of regrets, okay? So I'll give you a couple of tips that can actually help you to really evaluate what kind of things that you actually value in life right now. So one is where you actually spend your money. Here's the thing, right? Most people say they value maybe family, they value maybe making money or this kind of things, when it comes to money, right? But then you find that when it comes to how they spend money, doesn't really align with that. So making sure that, yes, you might have an idea that this is what of course I value family. Then you look at where you're spending most of your time and it does not align. Okay. You'll find that probably 80% of your time, if you're not at work, you're probably somewhere out with other people and not with your family. So in that case, when you come and tell people that my family is the most important thing, wouldn't that be a lie? Only bring to the only way to bring awareness to this is to bring super awareness to how you're spending your time and your money. Okay. So again, now coming back to your money, if you could start a practice of making a record of all kind of purchases and expenses you make within a day, and then doing your evaluation at the end of the month to really determine where most of your money is going. Okay. Because for some people, they will say that I want to make sure that when I get old, like I'm fully taken care of. Okay. So I have the nice pension and the nice retirement fund and all of that. But meantime, they're actually not taking the necessary steps to get to, sorry, ensure that that happens for them. So instead of saving, they're choosing to waste their money on things that really don't, just nonsensical things, right? Like being a spendthrift or something, or doing impulse buying over things that don't actually even add any kind of value. They just make you feel good in that moment. So in that case, it's really examining, okay, if I'm valuing having this kind of money at the end of it all so that I don't have to struggle in my old age, what do I need to do right now? It means that maybe I might have to really take care of my expenses, not just go and spending money the way I want, but really bringing that intention of probably every month I'm going to ensure that 10% of my income is invested in something that takes care of my future. That could be a way to look at it. So making a record of all the kind of purchases, anytime you spend money, anytime money just gets out of your pocket, make a record of it. Create an Excel. That's what I do. Put a date, put the place you spent the money, put the expense, and put the amount you've actually spent. Then at the end of it all, at the end of the month, beautiful practice to do for a couple of months for you to just bring super awareness to where your money is going. Sit down and analyze and put it in categories. So you will have a category for maybe household expenses. You'll have a category for groceries. You'll have a category for maybe a loan that you're paying out. You'll have a category for entertainment. List them all out so that you actually know where your money is going. That's a beautiful way of actually determining where your value, whether your values are in alignment with what you're trying to become or what you're trying to achieve. Okay. The second way is how you're actually spending your time. Okay. Who are you giving most of your time to? Okay. For example, if you value um, growth and transformation, which is actually one of my top most values. So for me, most of my time is usually spent learning because I genuinely love to learn, grow, and evolve. It's how I'm able to show up and share these amazing insights that I have on a weekly basis because I'm con constantly intentioning that I'm gonna grow each and every day. I'm gonna go each and every week. Because the thing that I value most is that to get at the end of the month and actually look back and be like, whoa, I've really learned a lot this month. That is what I value most. So for me, when I'm doing a time audit, it's really having awareness as to if growth and transformation is my key value, then it will mean that most of my time should be spent on that, right? That's what I value most. For some people, it could be that, what do I want to say? I'm going to use the example of family because that's the only thing that comes to mind. They could say that I value family. Then that means that most of your time, especially your free time, because you might not have any kind of control over your working time, okay? You might not have control of that, but most of your free time, where are you actually spending it? Okay? Because it can't be that all the free time that you have, you're out drinking with your friends and having fun, and then saying that no, family is the most important thing. If it was, then most of the time should be spent with your family. And that means that it could be as simple as a game night or probably just intentionally to watch a TV show with your family or just having a conversation during dinner time. It could mean that every dinner time or every day at a certain point you actually ensure that you're at home having dinner with your family and having and being present. Not being at home and just being like in a million different places in your head, working from home or whatever, but truly being present with your family. Okay. Audit your time. It's an exercise I I remember that I encountered in one of these courses that I take where they said, or the advert, actually it was for, I cannot remember actually encountered that. I think it was Jay Shetty when I took the one of his courses some time back. But I remember that what they said was the 24 hours you have in a day, convert that into money. So that will mean like probably dollar wise. So you'll say 1 hour equals $100. So 2,400. And then start making note of how you're spending your time during the day. How are you spending your time money? That's how I want you to look at it. So you've got 24 hours, you start with $2,400 in a day. And you start noting it down. And make that a practice because that will really bring awareness to where you're using most of your time. Okay. So it could mean like you probably spent $500 waiting in traffic. Okay. It could mean that you spent $800 or something standing on a line. Or I don't know. I'm just talking I'm just giving an example. So just bringing awareness of that, of where your time is actually going, and do that practice again and again and again so that you can really be raw and real with where you currently are. So that now, if now there's a misalignment with what you think you value and how you're actually spending your time and then your money, then now you can start making the necessary adjustment to bring them into alignment. Okay. So again, it's really determining what exactly do I want to accomplish in life. Probably maybe you want to ensure that you have a self-sustainable business, moving forward. That means that probably the next couple of months, majority of your time you're going to be spending working on your business. It could mean that every day, 3 hours, 4 hours, or 5 hours, whatever amount of time you want to give to yourself, you're actually spending working on your business and really intentioning that. Okay. So once you do that value audit of your time and your money, then you'll really have acute awareness of where your most of your energy is being spent. And if it doesn't align with what you're trying to achieve, you let that go. It could mean that probably the people you love spending time with, hanging out with friends and drinking, it could mean that you might have to cut back on that because probably you value your business more and getting maybe becoming self-employed. It could mean that for the next couple of months, having a conversation with your friends and telling them that, hey, guys, I'm not going to be showing up every weekend to drink with you guys because I'm working on something. And most of my weekend, I want to spend it working my business. So changing your alignment. Now, for the ones who love and support you, they will support you on your journey. If it means that probably you're trying to get more freedom in terms of money, and you might take you away from family, then having a simple conversation with your family and telling them that for the next couple of months, I might not be as present as I'd want to be. So making sure they're aware of that, not just assuming that people are just going to accept you just because you're trying to do something for them. It's bringing that awareness of, or essentially even probably maybe, I want to say asking for permission, but it's just polite to let the people around you know that this is where I want to spend most of my time. This is what I live right now. This is what I want to align with. And that might mean that going forward, you guys will have to give me the grace or give me the permission to not spend as much time with you as possible so that I can achieve this. For anyone who truly values you and loves you, they will wholeheartedly support you with this. For the ones who don't, for the ones who think that maybe or try to distract you from that and not really give you the kind of support that you need in accomplishing that, it may be time to evaluate that relationship. And if it doesn't align, and this is where the lonely path comes in when you start working on yourself, you walk away and find the people who align with you. Okay. So I'm going to end this right now. I hope you've resonated with everything that I've shared. And let me know down below. You probably might even be doing something with yourself. Maybe you might have more tips. I'd love to hear in the comment section down below. So share so that we can all learn from each other. You know me, I love to learn, I love to grow. So if you have anything to share, make sure you share down below. If you're new to my channel and you do like the kind of content I share, please do subscribe And also click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any time I actually go live. I always go live around this time every Sunday, which is the best time for me. And as always, I end my lives by actually sharing how I can actually help you to awaken this part of yourself, right? Because a lot of people struggle again with managing themselves, managing their emotions. Because trust me, by the way, emotions really play a big part in this, right? When you find yourself unable to control the little impulses you have, like, for example, buying something that you know very well you're not supposed to be buying, right? There's a reason behind that. It could mean that you probably trained your mind to be distracting you from doing what you're supposed to be doing. You've trained your mind to be getting you to run away from things that make you uncomfortable and all of that. So I'd rather just drink the beer, go out with friends and all of that than sit down and actually work on a business. Remember, as always, your brain or your mind is geared to your survival. And anything you do that goes contrary to what your brain is used to, it would always feel like a threat to your mind. And your mind, your number one job is to keep you safe. So it means that it's gonna keep on distracting you over and over again, making you notice things that you know very well you're not supposed to be buying, but because oh no, you're trying something new, or maybe I want to start saving right now, and your mind is like, no, that feels like a threat. Just go and buy that thing, even though you know very well it doesn't align, right? So there's a way to actually manage that and make that process easier for you, and that's by rewiring your nervous system and really being able to master your stress control. Okay. So how I do this, I do work with one modality that's called quantum flow. So quantum flow is all about rewiring your nervous system. So remember that all the kind of traumatic experiences you've had, any kind of emotional pain, emotional wound, you name it, any kind of unconscious patterns, limiting beliefs, they're always recorded within your nervous system, which is actually correlated with your unconscious mind, which actually influences how you show up in the world. So how you normally know this is that, have you ever found yourself having an overblown reaction to such a small slight done to you? You know those people who just get out of the car, probably maybe someone was driving incorrectly on the road, right? And they get so enraged with it, get out of the car and go and smash windows and all of that. That's an example of an overblown reaction to such a small slight. Okay, of course, it's not small if someone is annoying you, but still, that's not normal for you to get out and go and smash someone's windows just because maybe they cut you off or something where they were not supposed to cut you off. If you ever found yourself again having this kind of overblown reaction, it's probably because whatever thing you've encountered is actually touching on an old wound of yourself that's still within your nervous system, okay? So anytime you keep on encountering things or experiences that trigger this wound over and over again, you'll find yourself having those kind of reactions. You find yourself being overly emotional, overly affected by a very small slight. Okay, so what quantum flow does is actually a technology that helps rewire your nervous system and break down these unconscious patterns, release them, not to get rid of them, but actually to release or break down these patterns and use that energy to create a better and meaningful experience for yourself. So remember that your outside world is always a mirror reflection of you are on the inside. So if on the inside you're still operating from patterns of the past, you'll constantly be attracting situations and experiences that trigger the memory of that past. And what quantum flow does is that it breaks this memory down in your body. Most people usually do this with their mindset, right? But the mind is only one aspect of it. Quantum flow actually encompasses like different aspects of yourself. So it works on your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, your energetic well-being, not just one area. It focuses on all of this, and especially your body which stores a lot of this information. And you find that the more and more releasing you're doing, especially with targeting these different areas, the easier and faster it actually accelerates your healing. So quantum flow does it actually accelerates that growth for you. And the best part is that it allows you now to really tune into your inner guidance, your higher self, and really connect with why you're really here, your soul purpose, connecting to your true path, right? You find that the more and more you clear all these patterns and memories of the past, the easier it is for that intuition to come in. So if this is your current struggle, maybe you struggle with your mental and emotional well-being, content flow will be the perfect tool to help with that. So you can book a discovery call with me if you're curious about this and maybe you have more questions with that. Or if that's not convenient, you can go ahead and message me on Facebook or Instagram, ask any questions you have of me. Or if you just had enough and you're saying like, yes, I need this, you can check out the link down below. Either download my free meditation. I actually have 2 free meditations that you'll get if you book your or register on the link provided in the description box down below. Or you can just go ahead and book a session with me and hopefully I will get to see you on the other side. The second modality I do work with is called Soul Element. So Soul Element is all about connecting you to your authentic self. Who are you really at a soul level? A lot of us have lost touch with that, especially in the world we live in, where it's a ton of information that's out on the internet, and it's very easy to get lost, really lose sight of who you are, because everyone always has an idea of who you are, how you're supposed to be showing up, that the only path to success is this way. And that's not always the case. Like every one of us is designed in our own unique way. And what Soul Element does is it helps you connect to how you were designed to show up in the world, really connect to your soul level gifts. Because essentially, you're supposed to use the soul level gifts in how you show up in the world, in how you operate in the world. Most people, because they have a disconnection with who they are based on all the past choices that they've made, they completely lose sight of who they are. They completely lose sight of what their unique sense of self is and what unique contribution they have to the world. And they focus so much on trying to be things that they're not. And by doing that and going against who you are, it actually creates dysfunction in different areas of your life, from your health to your relationships, to your finances. If you find yourself kind of like going through like or feeling like you're operating from a sense of maybe your life is operating in the sense of a broken record, like you keep on facing the same circumstances, the same kind of experiences, probably betrayal, maybe sometimes it will be facing some kind of abuse. I don't know what it is, right? If you find yourself keeping, like you keep on attracting the same kind of experiences over and over again, chances are that whatever choices or whatever experiences are actually a vibrational match to who your soul blueprint based on what lifestyle choices or the negative choices that your soul made in the past life. And what soul element does is it actually connects you to that particular soul story, whatever you did in that lifetime, because chances are, if you made those mistakes, then you're still repeating them right now. And that's why you keep on attracting the same people. Most people, without awareness of what mistakes that they're making over and over again, without shining a light to that, they keep on repeating the same mistakes. And Soul Relevant allows you to have awareness of that, so that now how you show up in the world, really being intentional with kind of experiences you're entertaining, the kind of people you're entertaining, saying no to the people you need to say no to, and saying yes to the people you need to say yes to. Soul Element can help with that. And the best thing is that you get to energetically heal from all these negative karmic experiences that you've incurred based on all your past choices, hear them energetically, making you now with the new blueprint what you'll have, then you will no longer be a vibrational match to all these experiences. You won't keep on having to attract the same people, the same circumstances again and again, but only if you now start making different choices and being in alignment with your soul. Because at the end of it all rests with you and whatever choices you decide to make going forward. So if you're curious about this again, maybe you want to know more, maybe you have more questions, again, book a discovery call with me. It's a free call, 15 to 30 minutes, and I will share with you, and we can actually try to determine if it's a fit for you or not. Or if Facebook or Instagram is easier, you can connect with me on Facebook and Instagram, ask any question you have for me. I always respond. And if you're just ready to say yes, make sure that you book a reading with me. Trust me, it's going to be life changing for you. Okay. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, make sure that you subscribe and also click on the notification bell that's next to the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any content to share out here. For now, I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next live, which hopefully will be on the next Sunday. Okay. And I look forward to hearing from you how your week has been and what new lessons you've learned. Again, make sure that you comment down below any insights you want to share based on the material I shared today. Anything that you want to share, maybe you want people to celebrate for you or with you, do comment down below, okay? So bye for now, and I will see you on the next live.